dog status, I made moves out of Cali. Rockin' Chuck Cheese like they Gucci's a match. Couple decades in the game, but I need me a ring. Legendary status, you can't take it from me. No, you can't take that. Take that, no, take that. No, you can't. No, you can't take that. Take that. Take that.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Gino here on the Sports Life Production Podcast, presented by the BS2 Sports Network. Today's Friday, so I'm pretty excited about this topic. But the other day I was asked, what do I see when I look at myself in the mirror? And that was a really tough question, honestly, that I had to answer, because I see a lot of things, right? I think, and that's where we're going to go to talk about today is, when you look at yourself in the mirror, there's a lot of things you see. And as I was looking at myself in the mirror this morning, I reflected on things that I have gone through, things that I have overcame, things that I have been through to get me where I am now. The failures in my life, the lessons learned from those failures, the embracement of sitting here and being able to say that, hey, I failed over 100 times, but I've been successful 1,000,000 times. I've seen the scars that have been left on the field, off the field, and on the court, off the court. Just even in life, the scars of life itself, right? To make me who I am. And when you're able to dig deep within yourself, to really look at yourself in the mirror and see through your own eyes and see through your own lenses on where you started in life to where you are now, that's something that's very powerful. That's something for me that's inspiring. When you're able to do that, because you can reflect on your own self on where you want to be. The sky's the limit for a lot of people. It's funny, my wife and I were talking about this the other day. Everyone is created here for a reason. They're created on this earth for a reason. Don't know what that is. Maybe it's a story to tell others. Maybe it's an inspiration for people to learn from, right? To be great, to maybe learn lessons of failures, and to sit here and focus on things they need to do to be better than that person ever was. Maybe that person is a lesson for everyone to learn from. And I've been one of those. I've been a lesson to learn from, right? Through things that I've been through choices I've made in life. And I'm very thankful every day that I'm here to tell the tale, as I tell my kids all the time. I'm thankful to tell the tale every day of my life. And so when I see myself in the mirror, I'm able to reflect on where I started as a child from a broken home that was able to sit here and be full of life, but needed some guidance and some discipline as well. And that's what you see a lot of days from a lot of kids. They need a lot of discipline, need a lot of guidance in life. And I can tell you now, when my dad came into my life, I didn't know what sports was. I had no idea what that even meant. I mean, I knew what sports were. I didn't know how to play them. I didn't know how to play basketball, football. My mother was a single mom. She worked as hard as she could. And that reflected on me. Was that so when my dad came into my life, I sat here and learned from him. He taught me everything he knew about sports, got me into sports, got me active. And that's when I figured out my skill set, where I could be great at, what I could do. And that's what I really embraced about those moments in my life, was taking this young child who didn't know really much of anything to where now I was going through and I was actually being looked at by other organizations, by AAU ball, AAU teams. I didn't know what AAU ball was. I had no idea what these teams were. I just thought you play in a recreational league, you're playing in a game. Parents put you in the league and that's it. We got introduced to tournaments. We got introduced to AAU organizations. Next thing you know, I'm going through circuits. I'm going through recruiting processes and understanding the aspects of what that means for my future with college, a potential degree, things of that nature, right? And so as I reflect on those moments of where my life was to where I am now, even as a father and as a husband, I realize, without being able to self-reflect in the mirror every day to see that, yes, I'm a good person. I'm a great person. However, I couldn't have done this without the experiences I've had in my life. I couldn't have made it this far without pushing myself through certain things and not giving up, without my failures. And that's where I'm able to sit here and even teach my own kids, but even teach others as well, that once you reflect in the mirror, you're going to see the scars, you're going to see the failures, you're going to see those things that, yeah, they hurt, they sting, but you still overcame those things. You were still able to be successful. You were still able to focus on the fact that you still were able to overcome all those things. And everything in the mirror is just a simple reflection of your life. It's funny how these little things in life can teach you a lot more about yourself than what you already know. Because I realize within my own self, I have no quit. I have no plan B in life. There is no plan B. Plan B is for people who already failed, who don't see themselves succeeding in general. But there's no plan B for me. My plan is to continue growing and being successful, being able to provide opportunity for others, teach others the importance of what life can teach you, what life can do for you. Life ain't always pretty. It never is. But at the end of the day, it can give you something, and it can make you realize you are somebody. You're meant for a purpose. We don't know what this purpose is, but you got to keep going. You got to keep living to find out. And once you reflect yourself in the mirror every day and you start realizing how things are turning out for you and how great they really are, because it could be worse. You could be below ground. Heck, you may not even be able to come back from the C word that we call cancer. Hell, you may not even wake up the next day. We don't know. But you're able to sit here and reflect on yourselves. Even as a young athlete, can reflect on yourself, on where you've been in your young lives to where you want to be in your future. That's where it all starts. I didn't realize these things until I got older. And it took me a while to grasp the concept, to realize where I wanted to be in my life. Did I want to be in the corporate world? No, I did not. That was not made for me. Did I want to sit here and create opportunity and be able to do something I love within sports? Absolutely. That was my goal. That was my ultimate dream. And I'm fulfilling that dream. But I'm going to be honest with you all. I didn't do it alone. I had those experiences in my life to sit here and say, hey, you know what? This is why I've been where I've been. And so back to meeting my dad, when we met him, he was able to really push me into overcoming my fears, overcoming the situation of that I was never going to be good in sports because I didn't even know how to play. I didn't know how to dribble a basketball. Hell, I didn't even know how to throw a football. But I was blessed enough to be able to have the coaches that taught me from really young, pee-wee football and all, pee-wee basketball, whatever you want to call it, youth basketball, whatever you want to call it, to where now I'm able to sit here and say, you know what, because of all these experiences I had, because the way my parents put me in positions to learn, to be successful, I was able to overcome those things and have those experiences to be able to grow into a young man, to a young adult, to now an adult, to a father, and to a husband. To be able to teach and inspire my kids and teach and inspire others. And I tell you now, I look myself in the mirror every day still. And it tends to get me. Tends to wake me up and realize that, hey, at the end of the day, I'm able to sit here and still grow even today. Doesn't matter how successful I am. You can always grow. You can always learn from experiences. You can learn from where your life was, hell, just a couple of weeks ago, just months ago, just a couple of years ago, to where you are now. What has that taught you? So I can tell you now, just being able to see myself in the mirror every day, just being able to wake up, thank the good Lord that I was able to wake up and be able to look myself in the mirror every day, that I can sit here and say that I can reflect on those experiences in my past and be able to grow from those things and learn from them and be able to provide that knowledge and that self-motivation to win the day. Because I've talked about failures. I've talked about training your mindset to win the day. And that's how I literally start my day every day. It's being able to wake up, say a quick prayer. Thank you, Lord, for giving me the day. Another day with my family, my children, And I don't mean to get religious, guys. It's just one of those things that it's what I do for me. And you know what? I'm blessed to be able to take my kids to school and pick them up from school every day. Not many parents can do that. But I'm blessed to be able to do that. And I pray one day that those parents that want to be able to do that, and I'm sure all parents would love to do that, be able to pick their kids up, take them to school, pick them up. I pray that you're all able to do that one day. I pray you're all able to see your kids one day play on the big stage one day. And that's where I've created this foundation of Sports Life Productions, to be able to give those opportunities, create that moment with your child. Just like I was able to create a moment with my oldest son. He's 11 years old. He's not always with me. But when I have him, I create those moments with him. I was able to create a moment on a podcast show with him, and we were able to do a podcast together. That's something I never was able to do with my dad or my mom, because we didn't know anything about it. But now with all this technology and things, I was able to create those things to sit there and be able to sit here and have a podcast show with my son on the Knuckleheads podcast. And I'm very grateful that the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast gave us that opportunity. I'm so thankful for that. And that's something I will live with the rest of my life, but it would always reflect on me when I look myself in the mirror, that I was able to create that big moment with my son. And he was able to see that, hey, I'm not doing this by myself, but my dad is here with me. My dad is able to give me this. So when you focus on those things and you create moments with your kids, right? I sit there and think about that stuff all the time. So what I say is, as parents especially, you're able to reflect on yourself in the mirror every day. Think about those moments when you do. Student athletes that are listening to this, reflect on those moments when you look at yourself in the mirror with your parents, because that's also important. I can tell you, just like I explained, many moments with my dad, even with my mom. I had great moments with my mom in life. My mom was able to teach me about life in general. My mom still to this day teaches me about life, right? And I've got my own family, my own kids, my own home, my own success path. But I still create those moments with my own parents because that's what's important to me. And it reflects on me every day that I look myself in the mirror, to realize I wouldn't be here without the experiences they've given me, but I wouldn't also be here without the experiences of life itself. But also reflecting myself in the mirror every day, looking myself in the mirror every day to see what is important in my life. Why were certain things not happening for me right then and there? Was it going to teach me how to grow? Was it going to teach me how to, sit here and keep pushing harder every day? Or was I going to give up and quit? And so the next time that you see yourself pushing yourself in the mirror, pushing yourself every day, pushing yourself every day harder and harder, and then you want to quit, think about that day that you looked yourself in the mirror and realize you can't quit. You can't quit because this is the reason why you got here. These are the reasons why you got here. These are the important moments of your life. So I say every day you look yourself in the mirror, to student athletes, to parents, focus on why you're able to look yourself in the mirror that day. Because I can tell you right now, those are moments you won't get back. Those are only moments that you can reflect on. So I really appreciate you all listening to this. I hope this is some inspiring words of encouragement. And I hope that you're able to get things out of this today, out of this show today, with, looking yourself in the mirror and asking yourself, what do you see? Why are you where you are? And I also want to encourage you all, follow other podcasts on the BS3 Sports Network as well. They got the Elevate podcast, the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, the Padula Show. They have many different podcasts that I believe will catch your eye on the BS3 Network, and I believe that it'll be inspiring. Also, I'd say this: follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, and just listen to the content that we have on there as well. And don't be afraid to send us a message at all either. We're open to answering any and all questions. I believe that this will be something good for us to be able to give feedback and our thoughts. And you never know, we may be able to inspire you to give you a different outlook on things with life, with your child, or even student athletes. What could you do better? What could you do to be better, the next day? Or what can we do to help you prepare for that upcoming trial, that upcoming run that you got coming up? Things like that. So just want to say thank you all again. I hope you all have a blessed weekend, and we look forward to talking to you more later on in the future. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Rockin' Chuck T's like they Gucci's a match. Couple decades in the game, but I need me a ring. Legendary status, you can't take it from me.